Hiya! I'm going to walk you through how to make some basic cupcakes today. Okay, so first things first, make sure your hands are nice and clean, and you need to weigh out your butter and caster sugar. I'm making a double batch today, so my ingredients will be more than yours, however the steps are still the same. So I've got my 110 grams of golden caster sugar in my bowl already, and now I'm going to chop up my butter just in little slices like this and adding them into my sugar. I've reset my scales to 0 and I need to add 110 grams again. Remembering I'm making a double portion, so you won't need as much butter as I'm putting in. Okay, now I've got my butter and my sugar in my mixing bowl. I can add it into my mixing stand. If you haven't got a mixing stand, that's fine. You can just use the electric whisk on its own. And this needs to be beaten together until it's light and fluffy. Once your mixture's gone quite light, and as you can see it's quite fluffy now, then the next step is to add in your eggs. You add these in one at a time, and then you're going to beat the mixture until it's combined, then stop, scrape down the sides and add your next egg. So you can see that's totally combined, so now I can scrape down the sides. Give it a little mix, scrape off my spatula, and I can add in my next eggs. Now that's combined, I need to add in the flour. So I've already weighed out my flour. Now add all of it in at once. And I add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Sprinkle of salt, and I'm going to whisk it again until it's only just combined. I don't want to over mix it so it's like Play-Doh. I want to mix it until it's still nice and loose. So. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a lovely smooth batter. Shouldn't have any lumps in it. I stopped it halfway through and scraped down the side to get all the flour incorporated. And now I'm ready to fill my cupcake cases. So I filled my cupcake trays with cases. These are actually muffin trays, so the cases don't fit that well in. And I'm going to get 2 spoons, any regular spoons. I'm going to get a spoonful of my mix and use my other spoon to push it into the cupcake case. 1 spoonful per case. Doesn't matter if it's lumpy and not smooth on the top. As it bakes, it will even out to a nice round dome. This is everything you need to make chocolate ganache or dark chocolate fudge icing. 150 milliliters of double cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of unsalted butter, and 150 grams of dark chocolate. This couldn't be more simple. You break up the chocolate and pop it in a pan. You pour in your milk, making to get sure every last bit. It's not milk, it's cream. Plop in your teaspoon of butter, add your teaspoon vanilla extract, and heat it. Moving this out of the way. Heat it all up together until your chocolate started to melt, at which point you take it off the heat and stir it until it's lovely, thick and silky. Starting to melt, you can see it changing colour now. You don't want the cream to start boiling, so what you can do is take it off the heat, give it a stir, and if you've still got some lumps, pop it back on for a little bit. As you can see, this is really dark and starting to get a consistent colour now. So I'm going to turn off the heat completely and just keep mixing it, scraping down the sides until all of my chocolate lumps have melted. Now I've got a smooth mixture with no lumps in it. I'm going to leave it to one side to cool completely, and that needs to cool as well as my cupcakes cooling completely before I can think about icing them. Okay, so as you can see, I've removed my cupcakes from the oven. They're a lovely golden brown, and when I tap the top, they're springy to the touch. So I'm going to take them out of the cupcake tray so that they can completely cool before I ice them. Luckily they're quite robust. Okay, everything is nice and cooled now, and I've spread out my cupcakes so you can see a bit better. I've got a palette knife, but you can use a spoon, any sort of other knife to be honest. Scoop up a bit of your icing and plop it on a cupcake. Spread it around. Doesn't really matter if it gets messy, does it? It's all going in your mouth. That's it spread around. So there's all my cupcakes iced, and if you've got any chocolate left over at the end, you can grate some on the top. If you don't have any more sprinkles, if you don't have any sprinkles or decorations, this is a quick, effective way of adding a bit of decoration. There you go. And now the best part is you can eat them.